Recently, of course, this debate came up because Steph Curry was asked about if the Warriors with KD, which is the 2017 Warriors, could beat the 96 Bulls in the finals. His exact quote was absolutely ... You could put us on paper with them. I like our chances. I'd say Dubs in 6-2.
Yeah.
So that sparked a debate on Twitter and everywhere else in NBA circles. Who would win? So we are going to go into a few little talking points and then give our opinions. And let's start with the lineup, which I'm going to discuss. So with the 96 Bulls, the starting lineup would be Ron Harper, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Tony Kukoc, and Dennis Rodman. And this does not include Sixth Man of the Year, Steve Kerr, my Sixth Man of the Year, Steve Kerr, that year. But for the Warriors, they got Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, KD, Iguodala, Draymond Green. So off lineups alone, personally, I'm going to take the Warriors. Well, I would take the Warriors just blanket off of that. But the next segment, or next part of this, I guess, little discussion, James will talk about, plays a big factor in how these teams interact when they play each other in the finals. So, James, do you want to talk about these the interaction, I guess?
Let me get into my psychoanalysis here. Essentially, what we're discussing here today is the eras in which that they have both played in. You have to keep in mind that the Warriors are playing in a very, very new age where essentially one of their players, Steph Curry, has changed the game in general. There is so much three-point shooting nowadays as well, and with that Warriors team, all of those guys can shoot. Kind of Draymond. But, with that keeping in mind, it's going to be really difficult for the Bulls, who played in the 90s, to be able to kind of keep up with the Warriors' three-point shooting. I mean, KD is an unstoppable shooter. Klay Thompson's an unstoppable shooter. Steph Curry's an unstoppable shooter. It's going to be very difficult to limit those three-point shots. And as we know, threes are more than twos. So, there's going to be a lot more scoring coming from the Warriors side. On the other hand, 96 Bulls were one of the most defensively aggressive teams. And with that keeping in mind, it's going to be very difficult for the Warriors to be able to bypass all of the Bulls players. And especially some people like Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan who can really lock up. So if we're going to have either Jordan on Curry or Klay Thompson, it's going to be very difficult for them to get open shots because Michael's going to be on top of them. And as well as Scottie Pippen, me and Makoto and Reed had talked about this before. Pippen is going to be working KD probably the hardest that he's ever had in his career. So it's definitely going to be a lot of adjusting for the teams to do. And it should be a very interesting matchup. But yeah, I mean, some of these players even cancel out. I mean, Dennis Rodman and Draymond Green even basically do the same kind of maneuvers and don't really score, but get a lot of boards. Draymond's a little bit better of a passer, but Dennis Rodman's a little bit better on defense. So, I mean, it's definitely a toss-up for sure.
Yeah, I feel like every time I look at this, it's like I flip-flop. You look at the direct matchups that each person have, and you can take it one matchup at a time. But I think the main thing to worry about, to think about when it comes to this, like you just said, was the era. The fact that the Warriors were taking, I don't even know how many threes they were taking, but I mean, I can tell you it was definitely a lot more than the Bulls were taking, or whoever the Bulls were playing against. So I feel like it's almost impossible to even hypothesize with it without actually just seeing it in action, because I mean, you got guys like Kevin Durant, you can't stop him, he's gonna score 25 probably. I mean, he's gonna have to work for it for sure, and I mean, you look at Mike and is Mike really gonna let Steph take all those crazy contested threes? Steph is gonna get him off, but I feel like Mike's pride is just gonna hit him too hard, and he's just gonna he's just gonna lock Steph up.
He's gonna take it personal.
That's all I needed. That's all I needed for him to do that, and it became personal with me.
But I don't know. I mean, me personally, I want to take the Warriors just because of the fact that they shoot so many threes, and I feel like I mean, I do want to say, though, in a 7-game series, Phil Jackson is probably going to have his team figure out how to defend the 3 at some point, but I just don't know if you're going to be able to really stop Steph, Clay, and Kevin Durant, it just seems like it's too much, and then you got scorers like on the other team, like Mike and Scotty are going to be the main scorers for sure, and like, is anybody going to be able to lock them up? Like, hell no.
No.
So like, this is such a toss-up for me.
Yeah, and not to mention, their coach is playing on the Bulls right now, Steve Kerr, who probably knows the Bulls the best out of anybody, assuming that Kerr is coaching and playing at the same time with the knowledge that he has of the 96 Bulls.
Yeah, how would that work? Like, if we went back in time and like somehow brought the Bulls in,
to bring him back.
Kerr would have to coach against himself.
Yeah, he had to coach against himself. So that would be interesting. 2 Kerrs on the court, one coaching and one playing. My little thing about I think the X factor right now for me, even though I'm leaning towards Warriors, is Tony Kukoc, because he's an amazing defender, amazing scorer. He might be able to like just outscore and just play Iguodala and whoever's matched up against him. And if you've watched, of course, the Jordan documentary along with some of his games, he was really good. Like, even when Jordan was out, he basically took over the offense at some nights. So he's able to do that and take over. Same with Ron Harper, basically being, I think, a facilitator. I think he was like mainly a scoring, facilitating guard, to my understanding. So he'll basically be the Chris Paul, and he's like pretty. What is it?
He's like a slashing playmaker.
Slashing playmaker. And he's pretty much Chris Paul, essentially. But I don't know if he can shoot as well as Chris Paul, but he's definitely the Chris Paul type, if I would say on that team. What?
I don't know if I would compare Ron Harper to Chris Paul.
I'm talking about in terms of
that was a bit of a hot take.
It was a hot take, but I'm talking about, and it's not going to be as good. But I'm talking about like in terms of play style and how impact he's going to be on that lineup compared to the Warriors. But that's just my.
Dude. I mean, because like just looking at, obviously stats don't tell the whole story.
Yeah, I think Reed's lagging out. He is lagging out. So, do we want to move on to James? Do you think we should move on to who will win and how many games while Reed's fixing his internet?
Yeah. Sure. I definitely.
I think we should just say who's going to win how many games.
He thinks that the Ducks. Yeah. So I think that personally, in 7.
You say Bulls in 7?
I'll go Bulls in 7.
Bulls in 7. I definitely say I'm still leaning towards Warriors, so I think Warriors in 7 is gonna be really close. Again, this is a toss up for most debates, and Reed's out. This is a toss up for most debates. I think it's Warriors in 7. And I think Reed, and you were lagging as well.
Well, my bad. But I definitely think that good.
All right, so Reed's going to join in on the James side. Do you want to give your game, who's going to win and how many games? You want to drop that in there right now?
I think it's a 7-game series for sure. Whoever you guys have, because I missed. I don't know. Did you guys give your takes there?
I just said that I think it would be Bulls in 7.
And I said Warriors in 7.
7-game series. I wanted to say Bulls. I want to say Warriors. It's like
it's hard. It's a really hard decision.
I want to say Warriors just because I feel like they're going to be able. I think I don't see this Bulls team being able to like stop the 3 as much.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
And like they're not going to like fight fire with fire. Like Mike's not going to start jumping up like 10.
That's true. The only thing that I really do believe that the Bulls would do better is their offense, because the Warriors don't have as much defense to guard like Mike.
That's very true.
Yeah, especially if Mike takes it personally. He is going to score 60 that game, and it's nothing's going to stop him. Yeah,
Clay's a good defender, but Mike's giving Clay 40.
It's really hard. It's very difficult, hypothetical to decide.
I think the X factor, if he takes it personally, I think we ended on that. I think we should end it on that. Is that Mike takes it personally, Bulls are winning no matter what.
Yeah, comment down below.
Comment down below. Indeed.